So Ruth, in terms of sleep, how we breathe during the day will influence how we breathe during sleep. And we use breath hold time for about 20 plus years to give feedback to people on how well they are breathing. And more recently, in 2018, there was a paper by Messine looking at the phenotypes or characteristics of obstructive sleep apnea. And in that paper, they used breath hold time to help recognize one of the phenotypes called high loop gain. So it's quite interesting that it follows what we have been using with the recognition that breath hold time is quite useful in terms of how you're breathing during sleep. So to measure the control pause, it's as follows. I would like you to take a normal breath in through your nose and a normal breath out through your nose, and pinch your nose and hold your nose, and just relax into your body as you're holding your breath. And keep on holding your breath until you feel the first involuntary movement of your diaphragm or the first definite desire to breathe. And then when you let go, but your breathing should be fairly normal. So you continue holding your breath until you feel the first definite desire to breathe or the first involuntary movement. Do you feel air hunger there, by the way? And it was about 25.58 seconds. So about 26 seconds, just a slight bit over, but in fairness, your breathing was well controlled and calm afterwards. It's a pretty good figure. A lot of people coming in with sleep issues, it can be as low as 8, 9, 10 seconds. So what we would like in terms of functional breathing is to have people to have a control pause of 25 seconds. If it's less than 25 seconds, it indicates that breathing is dysfunctional. Now, what's the relevance of this with sleep? The lower the control pause, it indicates that our breathing is a little bit faster and harder and upper chest and irregular. And this pattern of breathing will also influence our breathing during sleep. So for example, if I'm talking to somebody on the phone and they're calling us up about snoring, and I will ask them, well, how is your breathing when you're snoring? Is your breathing noisy? Is your breathing loud? Is your breathing fast? And the person will say, yes, my breathing is noticeable. It's fast and hard. And that can often indicate that, okay, it can be partly due to a compromised airway, but it's also taking into consideration that the person could have harder, faster breathing pattern, and that's feeding into their symptoms. In other words, the sleep issues that we experience are not just solely down to a compromised airway. It's not just that the nose is too small or too narrow, or that the throat is too narrow. We also have to consider the flow of breathing, because the turbulence in the nose or the negative pressure in the throat can be made worse by our breathing patterns. And if we have a low control pause, it indicates that our breathing is under par, and this under par breathing is going to feed into our sleep issues. So the objective then is to improve the control pause. We increase the control pause by establishing nasal breathing, breathing in and out through the nose, both during wakefulness and also during sleep. We also practice breathing light, and that's to help reduce the body's chemosensitivity to carbon dioxide, breathing slow, breathing low. So those are the exercises that we practice, and those exercises in turn will help with insomnia, snoring, and obstructive sleep apnea.